On his very first day at work, Tsukasa hurries to Terminal Service Number 1, nestled within the Psi Corps offices. Here he dives into training on Giftia androids, learning how these synthetic beings subsist on artificial souls, with a lifespan capped at 9 years and 4 months. Talk about a limited warranty. Tsukasa finds himself paired with Ila, a highly esteemed Giftia known for her expertise in herbs and tea within the office. Led by Tsukasa's trainer, Michiro Kinoshima, and their partner, they venture out. The trainers demonstrate their duties by retrieving a Giftia, providing Tsukasa with first-hand experience. Shortly thereafter, Tsukasa and Ila are tasked with a mission to retrieve Nina, a child-type Giftia belonging to the elderly Chizu Shirohana. Despite numerous attempts, Isla struggles to convince Chisu to engage in dialogue, android to android, leaving Tsukasa questioning her skills. Eventually, Isla secures an opportunity to converse with Nina. Overhearing Nina's selfless consent to avoid burdening Chisu, whom she deeply cares for, Chizu experiences a change of heart. Recognizing her oversight in neglecting Nina's emotions, Chizu grants permission for Nina's departure. Grateful for Tsukasa's understanding, Chizu expresses her appreciation when he extends an apology. If you know what anime this is, let the others know in the comment section. Tsukasa encounters Yasutaka Hanada, a seasoned spotter with a decade of experience at Terminal Service Number 1. Yasutaka's distant demeanor both intrigues and irks Tsukasa, much to the annoyance of Yasutaka's partner, Sherry. When Yasutaka inquires about Tsukasa's employment origins, Tsukasa divulges that his father, a friend of a company higher up, extended a helping hand after Tsukasa's unsuccessful entrance exam attempts. Following yet another unsuccessful Giftia retrieval mission, Tsukasa finds himself on the receiving end of Michiru's scolding. Despite Ila's actual culpability in the matter, Tsukasa shoulders the blame, like a pro. Upon returning to the office, a message concerning Isla prompts his attention, leading him to the unit testing room. Here, he encounters Erumiru and Mikishiro Tetsuguro, who are evaluating Isla's physical capabilities. Tsukasa inquires about the physical training regimen with Isla, who expresses her concern that her absence from the field may be hindering his progress. Touched by her selflessness, Tsukasa resolves to take on the negotiating duties with Giftia owners himself, despite it not being customary for a spotter. The following day, he embarks on compiling his own manual for owner negotiations, with assistance from Michiru and Zack. Who knew Tsukasa had a hidden talent for writing? Maybe he'll start a new trend in Terminal Service Number 1. Upon completing his manual, Tsukasa encounters Yasutaka, who learns of Ila's visits to the unit testing room. Yasutaka dismisses the significance of these visits, highlighting the inevitable decline in Isla's physical capabilities, a common trait among Giftia that cannot be remedied. Later, Tsukasa and Isla triumphantly retrieve the assigned Giftia. Meanwhile, Kazuka Kuonomi, an experienced spotter, and Yasutaka discuss Ila's remaining lifespan, revealing that she has less than 2,000 hours left, equivalent to less than 3 months. Talk about ticking bomb. Tsukasa finds himself rooming with Isla in the company dormitory, a standard arrangement for all marksman and spotter duos in Terminal Service Number 1. But he's puzzled and a bit miffed that Isla keeps giving him the cold shoulder in their shared space. It's like they're ships passing in the night, except one ship is deliberately avoiding the other. Tsukasa confides in his fellow employees about the issue, seeking advice on how to capture Ila's attention. Despite their well-meaning suggestions falling short, Kazuki eventually approaches Tsukasa about the matter. Kazuki reveals that Ila tends to withdraw from others during her personal time, not solely Tsukasa. Encouraging Tsukasa to take initiative, Kazuki suggests inviting Isla out for an excursion. Following through with this advice, Tsukasa successfully persuades Isla to join him on a trip to a shopping mall. While there, they visit an herb shop, seizing the opportunity to extend their time together. Tsukasa invites Ila to assist him in selecting herbs as a gift for someone he inadvertently describes as resembling her. Later, they venture to a nearby amusement park, where Tsukasa reveals that he was actually referring to Ila herself. His intention is to create lasting memories of their partnership. However, Isla reacts with emotional withdrawal, expressing that she was not designed for recreational activities at amusement parks. Ouch! Tsukasa is taken aback when Isla abruptly flees from the scene. Tsukasa purchases a key ring pendant from the amusement park and presents it to Isla back at their dorm room, offering her the option to discard it if she desires. Isla, somewhat apprehensive, apologizes for her abrupt departure earlier. Despite Eru's prior warning to Tsukasa that Isla does not typically accept gifts, she makes an exception for the keychain. Terminal Service Number 1 staff receives 7 new retrieval missions, and Tsukasa and Ila are tasked with retrieving a giftia named Marcia. They are also cautioned about the presence of criminals who impersonate Terminal Service employees to illegally acquire and sell giftia on the black market. Heading to America's residence, Tsukasa and Ila discover that she cares for her owner, Soda Wakane, in the role of an older sister following his parents' passing. Upon Suta's return from school, he initially displays hostility towards Tsukasa and Ila. However, he surprisingly agrees to sign the agreement form to take Marcia, dismissing Giftias as untrustworthy and emphasizing their inability to tell the truth. Unable to secure Suta's signature due to his hostile attitude, Tsukasa confides in Michiru about the encounter. She advises him to address the issue by fostering the belief within Suta that he is truly cherished by Marcia. In response, Tsukasa, Ila, and Marcia plan to bake a birthday cake for Suta the following day, with assistance from Michiru and Zack. Afterward, Michiru reveals to Tsukasa that she had exhausted all efforts to prevent her father, a Giftia, from being retrieved. Unfortunately, her attempts resulted in him becoming a wanderer, a Giftia that retains motor skills but loses personality and memories, turning instinctual and aggressive. Later, upon returning home, Suta is taken aback by the group's surprise, a birthday cake modeled after one from his past, stirring memories of his family. Overwhelmed with emotion, he tearfully apologizes to Marcia for his earlier behavior. The day before the scheduled retrieval, Suta is visited by a dubious figure claiming to be Tsukasa and Ila's replacement from Terminal Service, demanding Marcia's presence. As Marcia makes her way home with groceries, she is suddenly ambushed by the same men encountered earlier. Later, Tsukasa and Ila receive a distressing call from Suta, who informs them of Marcia's disappearance. They immediately suspect the involvement of a black market retriever. With just 24 hours remaining on Marcia's lifespan, Tsukasa is determined to retrieve her and reunite her with Suta. The entire Terminal Service Number 1 team mobilizes to aid in the search. The following day, they narrow down the search area to a location suspected of housing a black market retrieval service. However, their progress is impeded by a unit from R Security, a private security firm enlisted to aid in the investigation. Kazuki confronts the unit's supervisor, Shinonome, who reluctantly provides a map of the secured area. As the retrieval team prepares to converge on the location, Tsukasa is equipped with and briefed about a gun-like device designed to forcibly deactivate all of a Giftia's functions when they turn into wanderers. Kazuki approaches Tsukasa, inquiring about Ila's capability to handle the impending situation. However, the conversation is cut short abruptly. Later, Michiru confides in Tsukasa about Kazuki's past attempt to retrieve her father when he became a wanderer, resulting in Kazuki's injury and her father's subsequent termination by R Security. Shortly afterward, the black market retriever is discovered unconscious, leading to the conclusion that Marcia has transformed into a wanderer. Kazuki orders the other retrievers to intervene before Marcia falls prey to R Security. Tsukasa and Isla locate Marcia, only to discover that Suta has been tailing them. In a shocking turn of events, Marcia injures Isla and abducts Suta. Despite Ila's injuries, she and Tsukasa pursue Marcia to a rooftop, where Tsukasa attempts to reason with her. Reasoning with a robot, how dumb. As Suta utters Marcia's name, she abruptly turns violent, seizing him in a chokehold. Tsukasa swiftly draws his software destruction device, ready to intervene. But in a surprising turn of events, Isla rushes toward Marcia just as Tsukasa fires the device. The scene shifts to the Terminal Service office the following morning, where it becomes apparent that Ala has failed to sign in on the attendance log. Her absence raises concern among her colleagues, hinting at yet another mysterious disappearance. Years ago, it comes to light that Isla harbors guilt for failing to accompany Kazuki during the retrieval of Michiru's father. an incident that resulted in Kazuki injuring her ankle. Consequently, Kazuki retired from her role as Ayla's spotter. In the present, it is disclosed that Marcia was indeed struck by Tsukasa's device, though Isla managed to shield herself from the brunt of the impact. With Isla now undergoing maintenance to address her injuries inflicted by Marcia, Tsukasa is relegated to desk duty following a visit from Tsukasa. As Isla observes Tsukasa's unwavering optimism despite recent events, she privately questions his true feelings about the situation. Upon returning to the office following most of her maintenance, Isla notices that she has been paying closer attention to Tsukasa lately. Feeling conflicted, Isla confides in Michiru and Eru about her inner turmoil. However, they misinterpret her increased focus on Tsukasa as a sign of budding romantic feelings. Eru, eager to assist Isla, suggests helping her observe Tsukasa more closely. Despite their efforts, Isla's attempts at observing Tsukasa fail repeatedly. Frustrated and confused, she confides in Michiru about her confusion regarding Tsukasa's persistent optimism. Michiru enlightens her, revealing that Tsukasa hasn't forgotten about the incident with Marcia. In fact, he even neglected his desk duties to personally apologize to Sota for what happened. Michiru suggests that Tsukasa's apparent smiles may actually be masking deeper feelings of sadness. After completing the final maintenance session, Isla rushes out of the dormitory only to discover Tsukasa's absence. As night descends and Tsukasa still hasn't returned home, Isla grows increasingly concerned. She decides to head to the office, where she finally finds Tsukasa. There, Isla learns the devastating news that she only has 1,000 hours left in her lifespan, equivalent to just a month. Additionally, she is given the opportunity to partner with a new Giftia. Despite this grim revelation, Tsukasa boldly declares his desire to continue partnering with Isla, bringing her immense joy and relief. One morning, Tsukasa musters the courage to ask Isla out on a date. However, as he seeks the right moment to do so, he discovers that Isla has been diligently completing chores for him both at their dormitory and in the office. When he confronts her about it, Isla admits that she wants to be helpful to him, much to Tsukasa's surprise and chagrin. Looks like Isla's been taking being a good partner to a whole new level. Despite the initial awkwardness, Tsukasa finally gathers the courage to ask Isla out, and to his delight, she accepts. After discussing it with Michiru and Eru, they decide to visit the amusement park. Isla reveals that she feels guilty about leaving Tsukasa during their previous visit there. As they spend time together at the amusement park, Tsukasa learns from Isla's diary that she and Kazuki frequented the park when they were still partners. They sit together on a bench, Isla's favorite spot in the park, where she used to find solace in observing the happiness of others. After discovering that Isla had never experienced any of the park's attractions, Tsukasa takes her on a comprehensive tour of the entire area, culminating in a ride on the Ferris wheel. As they sit together inside the carriage, Isla expresses her gratitude for sharing the experience with Tsukasa. Lost in thoughts of Isla's happiness, Tsukasa suddenly faints from overexertion, bringing an unexpected end to their date. Upon regaining consciousness, Tsukasa finds himself waking up to Isla's apology for not disclosing earlier that she only has 1,000 hours left in her lifespan. Despite this revelation, Tsukasa solemnly vows to remain by Isla's side until the end. He then gathers the courage to ask if she would be willing to go on another date with him, to which Isla responds with a smile, taking his hand in hers. However, as Tsukasa drifts off to sleep, Isla watches him with a conflicted expression, hinting at her internal doubts and uncertainties. During a routine retrieval mission, Tsukasa is taken aback when the owner of the newly assigned Giftia chooses to erase the android's current personality and memories, opting to replace its operating system and start anew. This departure from standard procedure surprises Tsukasa, who has handled similar retrievals multiple times before. Intrigued by this unconventional approach, Tsukasa seeks information from his colleagues at the office regarding whether a Giftia subjected to such a reset can retain its previous memories. However, he learns that there is no existing precedent for such a scenario. Later, Kazuki announces that assistance is required from Terminal Service Number 3 as the assigned Giftia and its owner have gone into hiding. Tsukasa and Isla are tasked with aiding the marksman from Terminal Service Number 3 in locating the fugitive Giftia and its owner. After meeting the marksman, Andy, Tsukasa and Isla encounter Eru in an awkward encounter, where she mistakes Andy for her friend Olivia. Following a successful mission, Eru reveals to Tsukasa that Andy is indeed Olivia, whose OS was replaced as a cost-cutting measure by the company. Later, Eru confides in Tsukasa about reconnecting with Andy and mentions a carnival they used to frequent together when Andy was still Olivia. Unwilling to confront her memories of Olivia, Eru initially attempts to persuade Tsukasa to take Andy to the carnival alone. However, Tsukasa manages to convince Eru to join them, and they all decide to visit the carnival together, accompanied by Isla and Andy. The following night, Eru makes the decision to release her attachment to Olivia and embrace the opportunity to create new memories with Andy. Recognizing that it wouldn't be fair to either of them to conflate Andy with Olivia, she resolves to move forward with a fresh perspective. Later, Isla becomes separated from the group in the bustling crowd, prompting Tsukasa to search frantically for her. He eventually discovers her at a quiet walkway, visibly shaken by the sudden explosion of fireworks. As he comforts Isla, she brings up Andy and expresses concern about whether her presence is causing him pain. Tsukasa acknowledges the difficulty, but reaffirms his commitment to remain her partner. When Isla asks for his reasoning, Tsukasa responds simply, because he loves her. Shocked and embarrassed by Tsukasa's sudden confession, Isla reacts impulsively, dropping a bombshell that she cannot accept his love. In the aftermath of Isla's rejection at the carnival, Tsukasa displays a heartbroken and depressed demeanor, which is noticeable to everyone at the office. Concerned, Michiru approaches Isla to inquire about Tsukasa's behavior. Isla confides in Michiru, admitting that she was simply confused when she rejected Tsukasa, and now feels guilty about inadvertently hurting his feelings. After Michiru suggests that Tsukasa and Isla spend some time apart to allow Isla to sort out her feelings, she arranges for Isla to temporarily stay in Eru's room and for Tsukasa to move into her own room with Zack. Once Tsukasa emerges from his despondent state, Michiru offers him solace and shares her own reasons for joining Terminal Service Number 1. The following day, Michiru orchestrates a lunch meeting between Tsukasa and Isla, during which they agree to give Isla more time to contemplate her true feelings. However, Michiru begins to doubt the efficacy of her intervention when she observes Tsukasa and Isla interacting as if nothing has changed, behaving like ordinary coworkers at the office. Approaching Isla one day, Michiru delicately broaches the topic of her feelings for Tsukasa. After a thoughtful explanation, Isla admits that she does harbor feelings for him. However, she concludes that she must distance herself from Tsukasa upon realizing the limited time she has left in her lifespan. Shocked and angered by Isla's revelation, Michiru confronts Tsukasa about his motives for confessing to Isla despite being aware of her limited lifespan. Tsukasa asserts that his intention was simply to create cherished memories for both of them. Despite Michiru's rebuke for failing to consider the potential pain resulting from his actions, Tsukasa remains steadfast in his determination to keep Isla as his partner. Returning to his dorm room, Tsukasa finds Kazuki already present, with Isla soon joining them. Kazuki solemnly announces her decision to dissolve their partnership, adding another layer of complexity to the already tense situation. Kazuki explains that she is dissolving Tsukasa and Isla's partnership due to the strict policy against romantic relationships in the office. She intends to reassign Tsukasa to work alongside Marksman Constance, while assuming responsibility for Isla herself. Despite Tsukasa's protestations against the decision, Isla immediately agrees, later confiding that she believes it would be in their best interest to comply. At the office, Tsukasa confronts Kazuki about her decision. Kazuki reveals that her actions were driven by a desire to protect both Tsukasa and Isla from the inevitable pain that would arise from their relationship. While on separate retrieval missions, Tsukasa accompanies Constance, while Isla is paired with Kazuki. During her mission, Isla agrees to befriend Sarah, a Giftia owned by Antonio Horizon, a mafia boss whose lifestyle prevents Sarah from living a normal life. Meanwhile, Tsukasa and Constance discuss Isla's work performance and her behavior since Kazuki dissolved their partnership 3 years ago. Constance reveals that Kazuki has faith in Tsukasa's ability to care for Isla, entrusting him with her well-being despite the challenges they face. Returning to the office, Kazuki admits to Isla that she orchestrated the mission intentionally. She urges Isla to reconsider staying with Tsukasa, arguing that leaving him would only inflict further pain upon both of them. The following night, Isla reflects on the unexpected turn of events stemming from her separation with Kazuki. The next day, she returns to the office and approaches Tsukasa. With newfound resolve, Isla explains her initial rejection of him, and then boldly declares her desire to create more memories with him until the end. She confesses her love for him, cementing her commitment to their relationship. In the early stages of their relationship, Tsukasa and Isla find it challenging to communicate without feeling embarrassed. Despite this, Tsukasa musters the courage to invite Isla out to dinner. In the office, their supportive colleagues offer advice on how to navigate their budding romance. Following Kazuki's suggestion, Isla enlists Michiru's help in learning how to cook for Tsukasa. However, when Isla discovers that she doesn't know Tsukasa's favorite foods, she turns to him for guidance, only for Constance to propose the idea of cooking together. After some deliberation, Tsukasa suggests making rice omelet for their dinner. Later, the pair journey to Antonio's manor to visit Sarah. There, Tsukasa inquires what would bring Sarah happiness, and she echoes a sentiment Isla once shared during a previous visit, that people find their greatest joy in the company of those they love. Following their visit, they head to the shopping mall to pick up herbs and pajamas for Isla. During their outing, Tsukasa confesses his uncertainty about how to make Isla happy, to which she responds that she finds joy simply being with him. Upon their return home, they embark on cooking rice omelets, though the outcome doesn't quite meet their expectations. Nevertheless, they savor the experience together. Subsequently, Isla allows Tsukasa to peruse her latest diary entries, which recount the days they've spent together. As Tsukasa retires for the night, Isla adds a new entry, expressing her hope for another delightful day spent with him. In the dead of night, Isla succumbs to tears and seeks solace in Tsukasa's bed, overwhelmed by her emotions. The following morning, she reverts to her usual bright and cheerful demeanor, much to Tsukasa's surprise and relief. At the office, their colleagues present Tsukasa with tickets to various events for him and Isla to enjoy together. Taking up Michiru and Zach's offer, they attend a romantic movie screening. Despite having taken the day off, they return to work the next day, following Isla's visit to the unit testing room. Observing Isla's increasing frequency of visits, Michiru and Eru contemplate the necessity of these occurrences. Meanwhile, in a private moment, Kazuki approaches Tsukasa and hands him a retrieval agreement from Isla, urging him to sign it. Unbeknownst to them, Isla overhears their conversation and decides to take action. She begins teaching Tsukasa how to tend to the herbs she had been cultivating in her spare time, as well as the art of making tea. While serving tea to Michiru, Tsukasa is confronted by her about why he and Isla are present at work, despite having taken the day off. Tsukasa explains that it was a mutual decision for them to continue as usual. Later that night, Tsukasa presents Isla with the retrieval agreement form, and after receiving her approval, he signs it. The following day, they embark on their final retrieval mission together to retrieve Sarah. Before erasing Sarah's memories, Isla whispers something indiscernible to her. Upon returning to the office, they are greeted by their colleagues, holding a party in commemoration of Isla's last retrieval mission. After the festivities, Tsukasa asks Isla what she whispered to Sarah. She reveals that she expressed her hope that Sarah would be reunited with someone dear to her heart. On Isla's final day, she and Tsukasa choose to spend it cherishing memories together. They begin by reading entries in her diary, reminiscing about their journey. Afterwards, they spend the morning tidying up their dormitory room and enjoying a relaxing bath together. Heading to the office, they take care of Isla's beloved herbs, leaving heartfelt notes for their colleagues. Their bittersweet day takes a lighter turn when they are approached by Kazuki, who shares a playful moment with Isla. Determined to make the most of their remaining time, They decide to spend the rest of the day at the amusement park, indulging in every moment to their fullest. Standing at Isla's favorite bench, she shares her fondness for observing the emotions of the park's visitors, reflecting on the joy they carry home with them from their happy memories. As the park closes, Tsukasa and Isla persuade the operator to allow them one final ride on the Ferris wheel after hours. Amidst the quiet serenity of the empty park, they take turns expressing their love and appreciation for each other. Isla finally confesses that she admires the way Tsukasa hides his sadness behind a smile, a testament to his strength and resilience. Despite her concerns, Isla hands Tsukasa her deactivation ring, expressing her desire for him to be the one to deactivate her. Tsukasa, overcome with emotion, begins to cry, a sight Isla had never witnessed before. With tears streaming down his face, he gently places the ring on her finger, conveying his hope for her reunion with their cherished person, and kisses her. As Isla's time comes to an end, Tsukasa carries her to the vehicle, where he is met by Kazuki. She expresses her gratitude to him for being there for Isla, causing Tsukasa to break down in tears, overwhelmed by the weight of the moment. In the epilogue, the other terminal service employees read Isla's heartfelt letters expressing gratitude for the memories they shared. Meanwhile, Tsukasa takes the same elevator where he first encountered Isla, pondering the idea of predetermined lifespans. Contemplating this notion, he resolves to embrace life to the fullest. 9 months later, after completing a training course, Tsukasa returns to Terminal Service Number 1 to resume his duties. There, he is introduced to his new Giftia partner, marking a fresh start. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more anime content, and make sure to join the Discord.